Behind the rise and fall of kingdoms, there are battles that no map can show. While armies clashed on earth, a far greater war raged in the unseen, a war between celestial beings. In the 10th chapter of the book of Daniel lies one of the most mysterious passages in all of Scripture. A faithful man, Daniel, fasts and prays for 3 weeks. Then suddenly, a radiant figure appears before him, his face shining like lightning, his eyes blazing like fire. The being speaks, "From the first day that you set your heart to understand and humbled yourself before your God, your words were heard. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. In these few lines, the Bible unveils a cosmic secret. A heavenly messenger, believed by many to be the Archangel Gabriel, was sent with an answer to Daniel's prayer, yet was stopped by a mysterious power called the Prince of Persia. Who was this prince? A fallen angel ruling over empires? A demonic principality assigned to influence human rulers? And why did Michael, the great warrior archangel, have to come to Gabriel's aid? This is not just an ancient story. It's a revelation of a hidden war that still rages over nations, governments, and souls. While Daniel prayed on earth, a battle was being fought in the heavens. A battle so fierce that even God's messengers faced resistance, and the echoes of that battle can still be felt today. For 21 days, Daniel's prayers rose to heaven unanswered. But unknown to him, a celestial messenger was already on his way, carrying divine insight about the future of Israel and the fate of empires. This messenger was Gabriel, the same archangel who would centuries later announce the birth of Christ to Mary. Gabriel, whose very name means "God is my strength." Yet even an archangel's strength met resistance. The Prince of Persia, not a human ruler, but a dark spiritual power, stood in his path. In the unseen realm, kingdoms have guardians, and empires have powers behind their thrones. What we call politics, the ancients called principalities. For 3 weeks a war raged, not of swords and shields, but of wills and authority. And as Daniel mourned and fasted on earth, that spiritual conflict unfolded above him. Finally, Michael, the great prince who protects God's people, entered the battlefield. With his intervention, Gabriel broke through the resistance and reached Daniel with the revelation that would shape biblical prophecy forever. The delay was not silence, it was war. Every prayer, every cry, every whisper of faith can stir movements in realms beyond sight. Daniel's perseverance didn't just bring answers, it helped shift the balance in an invisible struggle between light and darkness. And when Gabriel finally appeared, his message was unlike anything Daniel or the world had ever heard before. It was not merely about Persia or Greece, but about a cosmic timeline stretching to the very end of days. Who, Watma, was the Prince of Persia? The book of Daniel doesn't name him, but his identity echoes through the ages of angelology and apocalyptic lore. He was not Cyrus, the human king of Persia. No, this was something older, darker, and more powerful. A spiritual intelligence that stood behind the empire itself. An unseen ruler shaping human history from the shadows, manipulating kings, guiding wars, influencing the rise and fall of nations. Ancient Jewish and early Christian writings describe these entities as territorial spirits, celestial beings assigned to nations. Some serve God faithfully, others rebel, seeking dominion over the world through deception and control. Persia, in Daniel's time, was the greatest empire on earth, and so the power behind it would not be small. Gabriel called him a prince, a title of authority in the spiritual hierarchy. That means he was not a demon of chaos, but a being of rank, order, and intelligence. A fallen watcher, perhaps, from the days before the flood. A being that once stood in light, and now wages war against it. This celestial adversary was powerful enough to delay Gabriel for 21 days. A staggering reality. It means that in the unseen realm, even angels encounter resistance. The heavens are not empty, they are contested territory. And the spiritual geography of Earth mirrors the political map we know. Persia, Greece, Rome, each empire ruled not only by men, but by powers behind men. When Michael entered the battle, it wasn't just to rescue Gabriel. It was to secure a revelation that would pierce the veil of time, because Daniel's vision was not only about his own age, It was about every empire that would rise under the same unseen influence. The Prince of Persia was just the beginning. Another would come after him, the Prince of Greece, and after that a final ruler unlike any before, a king who would exalt himself above God. When Daniel finally received the revelation, it wasn't just a message about the future. It was a cosmic blueprint. Every empire that would rise after Persia was already written into that vision, not as accidents of politics, but as movements in an unseen war. Gabriel's words peeled back the veil. The Prince of Greece will come. That phrase was more than a prediction. It was a warning. Behind Alexander's conquests, behind the spread of Hellenistic culture, there would be another power, the next principality assigned to the next empire. And so history repeated itself. Each kingdom, each revolution, each ideology became a vessel, carrying spiritual forces that shaped the fate of humanity. Babylon fell, Persia rose. Persia fell, Greece rose. Greece fell, and Rome took the throne of the world. But the thrones of men were never the true seats of power. They were mirrors, reflections of what was happening in higher dimensions. Even the modern world, with its science, wars, and ideologies, still dances to rhythms older than civilization itself. Daniel's vision was not just about the fall of kingdoms. It was about the continuity of influence, a thread of rebellion, passing from empire to empire, preparing the stage for a final confrontation foretold in Revelation. When Gabriel spoke of his battle and Michael's aid, he revealed that spiritual resistance does not end when a prayer is answered. It evolves. Each answered prayer weakens one dominion and strengthens another. Each revelation opens the path to the next. And if the Prince of Persia ruled the empire of Daniel's time, who rules today's? What celestial intelligence manipulates the rise and collapse of global powers, the shaping of ideologies, the moral decay and awakening of nations? If angels contend for the destiny of the faithful, then surely dark powers contend for the soul of humanity itself. The prophecy given to Daniel was not merely to inform, it was to prepare. Because the war that began in the heavens continues on earth, and the same archangels who fought then still fight now. Daniel's vision was not only about empires, it was about timing. The angelic struggle delayed Gabriel for 21 days, and that delay itself carried meaning. Because heaven never delays without purpose. Every moment of resistance is a revelation in disguise. Gabriel wasn't only delivering prophecy, he was delivering a pattern, a divine calendar of conflict, where every earthly empire corresponds to a heavenly struggle. The number 21, the sequence of weeks, the repetition of sevens, all symbols woven into the architecture of time. And when Gabriel finally spoke, he revealed the secret thread that runs from Daniel's era to the Messiah himself, that behind every earthly kingdom rises a counterfeit throne, and behind every faithful remnant stands a guardian, an unseen defender. Daniel's message was meant to strengthen the faithful, not to fear empire, but to understand it. Because in every generation, the same question echoes: who truly rules the world? The kings and governments we see, or the spiritual powers we don't? The revelation culminates in the prophecy of the Anointed One, the Messiah who would be cut off, not for his own sin, but for the redemption of others. This was the ultimate counterstrike in the cosmic war, the Lamb entering history as a warrior of peace, disarming the powers not through violence but through sacrifice. Gabriel's delay, Michael's battle, Daniel's prayer, they were all pieces of the same divine puzzle. Because what was revealed to Daniel in visions would one day be fulfilled in flesh. The unseen war would break into the visible world. Angels and empires would both bow before a single name, and that is the ultimate hidden message of Daniel's vision, that no matter how fierce the unseen war becomes, the outcome has already been sealed. Victory does not belong to the princes of this world, but to the one who reigns beyond it. If Gabriel's battle was real, then it was never just ancient history. It was a preview, a glimpse into an ongoing war that still shapes the fate of nations. Because the powers that stood behind Persia and Greece did not die with their empires. They simply changed their masks. What was once the throne of Babylon became the throne of ideology. What was once the altar of false gods became the altar of human pride. And even now, New empires rise under old spirits. Scripture calls them principalities and powers, rulers of the darkness of this world. Their influence is subtle, not always in thrones or temples, but in thoughts, systems, and beliefs. They whisper through ambition. They guide movements that promise freedom, but deliver bondage. They corrupt truth into half-truths, faith into fanaticism, and light into spectacle. And yet, just as before, there are still angels dispatched, still battles unseen that decide the course of human destiny. Perhaps the delays in our prayers, the chaos in our times are not signs of absence, but signs of war. Because every generation has its own Prince of Persia, resisting divine revelation, blocking what heaven is trying to release. But just as before, Michael still stands, the Archangel of resistance, the defender of those who refuse to bow. And his presence means that the story is not over. The unseen war of Daniel 10 is not a legend, it is a pattern. And right now, that pattern is repeating. In governments, in media, in the very fabric of human thought. The veil between heaven and earth is thinner than ever, and every time truth is proclaimed, that veil trembles because it remembers. It remembers the war that began long ago, and the victory that was already written before time began.